Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to introduce Mr. Paul Ulrich, who is here as one of our witnesses for today's hearing. Paul, thanks for traveling in from Pinedale, Wyoming, to be with us here in the nation's capital. Paul is on the board of directors and the former president of the Wyoming Energy Authority, which leads our state's energy strategy. Paul is also vice president of government and regulatory affairs at Jonah Energy, one of the largest natural gas producers in Wyoming. Paul has worked in the oil and natural gas sector for almost 25 years. He is an expert on operating on federal lands. Before his career in the energy sector, Paul was an intelligence specialist in the United States Navy. So we're deeply grateful for your service to the country and to the state of Wyoming, as well as for an opportunity to hear from you today. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chairman Manchin, and a special thank you to my U.S. Senator, Ranking Member Barrasso, for the invitation to speak. I really appreciate it. Jonah Energy is an oil and gas exploration and production company, and we operate, as the good senator said, in the Jonah and Pinedale fields up in Wyoming. Our business is producing natural gas in an environmentally responsible manner, and I think that's critical. I'm really immensely proud to be part of a team at Jonah Energy with that shared vision of providing some of the nation's cleanest natural gas, all on federal lands. The Wyoming Energy Authority is responsible for advancing our diverse energy strategy, all of the above in Wyoming, and empowering our nation with our goal in Wyoming of a net zero energy mix down the line. Clean natural gas projects, wind projects, CO2 sequestration pipelines, and believe it or not, even wildlife conservation efforts are severely limited by unacceptably long review times, endless litigation, and ever-changing regulations. Today, Congress has an opportunity to lead our nation into a cleaner and a low-carbon economy through meaningful permit reform. The world needs affordable and reliable energy, and those needs are growing. I think it's important that we also acknowledge that all energy sources have an environmental impact and stop the bias against hydrocarbons. It's important to recognize the work being done to provide natural gas that is produced in a less impactful way, and we get better and better and better every day. We must address permitting and litigation challenges that continue to hamper our ability to progress both domestic and globally. We must also enhance our LNG export capacity in order to provide our low-emission American natural gas to the world. States in the West with a large amount of public land are at a decided disadvantage to other parts of the country. Leasing, environmental reviews, permitting, and ultimately any source of energy development can take years, if not decades, longer on private land. Some examples: Chokecherry Sierra Madre Wind Project, 12 years of NEPA permitting. Transwest was just discussed. That is critical new infrastructure from Wyoming and Wyoming Wind to deliver renewable resources to California, Nevada, and Arizona. Nearly 15 years of NEPA permitting alone. In the past 15 years, the timeframes for environmental analysis on oil and gas projects range from 6 to 10, 12 years. The average time to process an APD to drill a well has increased by 124% from 2018 to 2022, averaging 271 days. The effects of litigation on federal and oil and gas permitting in Wyoming are also significant. Several lawsuits challenge lease sales in Wyoming, as well as lease sales in other states held between 2015 and 2020. Bottom line is the effect of these cases is the BLM isn't approving drilling permits or any other action on 2.1 million acres of oil and gas leases in Wyoming today and won't be for the foreseeable future. For most of these acres, BLM is effectively self-enjoining itself from approving development. This is new and unprecedented and has effectively halted any development on valid existing rights with no end in sight. Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, supply matters. With the additional natural gas pipelines, we can develop a market for low-emission American natural gas that will support global climate goals through export as LNG and also support our allies' growing need for a reliable source of energy. And we can build this infrastructure that enhances our existing natural gas backbone and provides for the potential of green hydrogen and ammonia export. So, recommendations: enact meaningful and leasing permitting reform, amend, strengthen, and protect our foundational energy statutes, limit or eliminate the ability of agencies to enact moratoriums or other administrative roadblocks, and, as always, adhere to enforceable deadlines, and strengthen our mandate of multiple use. Expedite judicial review periods, limit venue shoppings, enact reasonable statute of limitations, and certainly require agencies to rigorously defend in a timely manner their decisions. And obviously, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, we want to prioritize and accelerate approval for new interstate natural gas pipelines, LNG terminals, and related infrastructure. In closing, Wyoming resources support our national strength, our security in a fundamental way. We're also leading efforts to significantly reduce environmental impacts from all sources of energy. We can and must work together to achieve meaningful permitting reform. It's necessary to achieve our full potential of energy reliability and security, as honestly, we in Wyoming and we in this nation lead the globe in a cleaner energy evolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member.